a mentor of mine, every Leil Shabbos, would go to his Rebbe's house, and they would learn Chumash for a couple of hours every Leil Shabbos. And I imagine like two things going on. He's learning Torah from his Rebbe, and the preciousness of the Torah he's learning with his Rebbe. And then there's a comfort in itself that he's sitting and learning with his Rebbe, besides what the Torah that was said. There's a Torah that's being said, and the Torah energized him, but there was also Mitzias that he was sitting with his Rebbe learning Torah. It's like there's two aspects to what's going on. I always wonder, like, could he speak it so geschmack, just being in the Maimid? Certainly he appreciated what was said, and you never want to overlook. The Iker is the Torah that was said, I imagine, maybe. But there's a tremendous milah to the very Maimid that he was learning Torah from his Rebbe. I want to say about getting together with the Chevra that Rabbi arranges on Leil Shishi, that we come together Erev Shabbos Kodesh, already Leil Shishi, and we come and we learn Torah and we start learning the parasha. I enjoy and appreciate that we learn Torah together, but there's still a big comfort to come and learn Torah together, that with friends, share and connect with friends. I feel like the matziv we're in is tumultuous. The matziv for our people it's a lot. And I just feel a comfort sitting together and learning Torah with the Chevra. So I'm going to appreciate what we're going to learn together, but I appreciate also that we learn together. So I want to thank the Chevra for coming. I want to share something I'm in middle of. I want to share with the Chevra. I have thoughts. I ask everybody to work with me, to bear with me. Please speak up. I beg everybody to speak up, because I'm like working on it, right, Silverman. So I want the Chevra's thoughts. I have two Rashis on the Parsha that look like steers. Now, I want to be honest. I need to learn better and learn the Mefarshei Rashi, the many Mefarshim of Rashi. And we have to study the Mefarshim of Rashi. I'd like to throw out a few kashas. I want to share how I understand the Rashis and get some feedback along the way. So if you allow me, let's study two Rashis this week's Parsha. I think along the way we could discover some cool things. But listen to these two Rashis. Rashi number 1 is the first Rashi that we'll study together. It's the Psukim describe Avram Avinu hosting his guests, and he says to his guests, Yukach na ma'at mayim, please take some water, v'rachsul raglechem, you'll wash your feet, v'shanu tachasetz, and then you'll sleep a little bit. Wash your feet, then sleep. That's what Avram Avinu says to his guests. Wash your feet, then sleep. Later in the parsha, Light has guests come to him, and he switches the order. Light says to his guests, he says to them, please, my master, please come to your Eved's house. He invites the guests in, and he says, Linu, you'll sleep, and then you'll wash your feet. Avram Avinu says, wash your feet, then you'll sleep. And Light says, sleep, then you'll wash your feet. Reb Maish, which is the normal one? They come in, their feet are dirty from the trip. Avram Avinu says, wash your feet, then you'll sleep. Light says, sleep, then you'll wash your feet. Which is the normal? So Rashi by Light, when it says sleep and wash your feet, Rashi says, their feet dirty. You first you take a shower, you clothe, then you go to sleep. Geschmack. Your feet are dirty. That's not a way to sleep. It's hard to sleep like that. So Rashi openly says by Light that the normal thing is to first wash, then sleep. Rashi asks, where Light says sleep, then you'll wash. Rashi asks, is it normal to go to sleep, then wash? It's nish normal. That's what Rashi says by Light. Okay, so let's just go with that fact. The normal thing in the world is to wash your feet, and then you go to sleep. You don't go to sleep dirty. Wash your feet, go to sleep. That's the normal thing to do. I happen to appreciate the night shower. The morning shower, people have reasons. There's a way to view a beauty of the morning shower, that people are preparing, they want to be b'kodesh. There's what to appreciate. The night shower is geschmack, that the body worked hard, person identifies with his soul and washes down the body, worth to put in a good day, deserves it. There's what to say about a morning shower also, there's what to think very positively of it. But the night shower, the derech is a person showers, then sleeps. And Rashi tells us that later in the parsha. There's a pella, Rabbi say. There's a pella, and I want to ask you a Ba'am Kasha. On the Rashi, the first Rashi, Avram Avinu says to his guests, wash, and then you'll sleep. Says Rashi, if I can see it, says Rashi, on that, says Rashi, Kizber Shem Aravim, he thought they were Arabs, who bow down to the avak of their feet. They serve Avodah Zarah. V'hikbid, not to bring Avodah Zarah lebeisai. Avolayit shaloi hikbid hikdim lina l'rechitza. Avram Avinu first said wash because he didn't want Avodah Zarah in his house. Rabbi said, I have a Ba'am Kasha. It's normal to first wash, then sleep. What is Rashi saying that Avram Avinu said wash then sleep because he didn't want Avodah Zarah in the house? He said wash then sleep because it's normal. What's Rashi addressing? Rashi says Avram Avinu was makbid not to have Avodah Zarah in his house. That's why he said wash. But light wasn't makbid, so he said sleep first.
Is it normal to tell your guests to take a shower?
What David just said is emes the kipshat. I saw Mefarshei Rashi some not learn this way. I think David Siegel said the emes and pshat. And we're going to work through, we're going to answer many kashas. What's Rashi bothered by that Avram Avinu said wash then sleep? Rashi later told us that's the normal. So what is Rashi addressing? Avram was makbid, they shouldn't have Avodah Zarah. Lot wasn't makbid, that's why the switch in order. Avram did the normal thing. You don't need to be metaritz anything. Says David, and if you read Rashi carefully, I hold it's emes what David's saying. Rashi is not bothered why he said one before the other. Rashi is bothered that you don't tell guests to wash your hand. I saw in Paiskim that when it comes time to wash the Yadayim, one shouldn't say to his guests, wash your hands. It's inappropriate. Okay, let's wash, chevra. I don't like saying that to the guests. It's inappropriate. Wash means you're dirty. I like doing the best thing is get up and wash yourself, and everybody sees you wash. You have to talk with derech eretz. It's not appropriate. You can't forget there. It's inappropriate to say to people wash. That's what Rashi's bothered by. Rashi's bothered by your kasha. He's not asking why he said one before the other. If you read careful the words of Rashi are rachatzu raglechem, wash your feet. Rashi does not address any order. There's no kasha of the order. You're supposed to wash before you sleep. Rashi's addressing, it's not derech eretz to say to somebody wash. Don't say come wash from the Tzitzit. It's not appropriate. He's saying you're tameh, you're dirty. It's not appropriate. So Rashi's bothered by that Avram Avinu said wash, nothing to do with the order. He's not addressing the order. The order is Nishkin Kasha. He doesn't even bring the order. Says Rashi, wash? Oh, that's not derech eretz.
So the blame that he says that you should wash after?
Oh, I'm going to get that. Good. I want to theorize. Excellent. I want to theorize. So the Kasha on Avram Avinu is not that he said wash then sleep. It's not the order. It's a Kasha that he said wash. So it says David, the answer to that kasha is he thought they were Arabs, and he was makbid not to bring Avodah Zarah to his house. I'm going to show you something cool. I'm going to show you Chaim something rizik. So according to Rashi, he said what? The kasha that Rashi addressed is you're not allowed to tell somebody wash. It's not derech eretz. It comes out of big nafkamina ourselves. You shouldn't tell people to wash. It's inappropriate. So the kasha is why did Avram say wash? Not a kasha why he gave them water to wash and why they would wash their feet. Just don't tell people wash up, give water, and then they'll do what they want to do. You can wash up, it's not nice. Says Rashi, he was being mitzvah to wash it. He didn't want Avodah Zarah in his house. That's the halacha. He was hikbid not to have Avodah Zarah. So there's a sibah to say wash. I'm akbid, you wash. I can't just say do what you want. It's, the derech eretz there falls away. There's an isser Avodah Zarah. So he's mitzvah, wash. It's not just an optional thing. So Rashi's bothered saying wash. Now watch this. Rashi says light first says light was makdim lina l'rechitza. Says Rashi, he wasn't makbid on Avodah Zarah. Now two kashas on Rashi on that. Two bomb kashas. Kasha number, this is without David's pshat. You'll hear David's eisen. Two bomb kashas on Rashi. Kasha number one is by light. Who said he thought they were Arabs? Maybe he didn't think they were Arabs. By Avram Avinu it says Kisber Shem Arvim. He thought they were Arabs. Why didn't he answer that by light? It says two malachim came and light saw them. Maybe he didn't think they were Arabs. Why didn't Rashi just answer? By Avram Avinu, he thought they were Arabs. Who said light saw them the same way? Who said he thought they were Arabs? So why didn't he just say light didn't think they were Arabs?
They're malachim, they don't need sleep.
I'm sorry?
They're malachim, you don't need sleep.
I don't know if they're malachim. Maybe he thought they were a different country. And who said he thought they were Arabs? The only reason to say wash is you hold they're Arabs who are mishtachvim lavak shebaraglayim. Maybe light didn't think they were Arabs. I don't know. He thought they were a different country. Kasha 1. Kasha 2 is Rashi later on says the reason why light said to sleep before washing their feet is he wanted their feet to stay dirty. Rashi later on speaks out that light wanted their feet to stay dirty. He says that. He says he was afraid of the people of Siddim. You were punished for having guests. If they had clean feet, the people would say, oh, they've been here for a while. You had guests without telling us, Chayav Misa. And Rashi says that light said, keep your feet dirty. So if they ever come, enjoy sleep first. That's why he said sleep first, then wash your feet. Wait for a while to wash your feet. So when they come and they see your feet are dirty, I'll say he just came. I wasn't going to have guests. The mamish just came. I wasn't planning. So that he had a reason to keep them dirty. Rashi speaks this out. I'll read the Rashi. Says Rashi, Kach amar light. Im k'shiyavo anshe stein. And they see you washed your feet, yalilu alai. They'll complain to me, and they'll saying it's been 2 or 3 days that you're here, and you didn't tell us. Therefore, light said, better keep your feet dirty. That's why he said, sleep then wash your feet. So a bomb kasha. What does Rashi say here? Light wasn't scared of Avodah Zarah. What is happening? Light told them not to wash their feet. What's Rashi addressing? Light had a cheshbon. He was afraid of Anshe Siddim. Avram wasn't afraid. Light was afraid. According to David, it's gewaldig. According to David, automatically to say to guests, wash your feet is bizarre. It's not derech eretz. The only reason to say wash your feet is Avodah Zarah. So Avram says, wash your feet. He doesn't let Avodah Zarah in his house. Light who says, sleep and then wash your feet, al karcha, he can have all the cheshbonis in the world. To say at one point you got to wash your feet means he's worried about Avodah Zarah. He knew they were Arabs. He also must have, because why do you say wash your feet ever? You don't talk like that. It must be, he holds they're Arabs and the mishtachvim lavak shebaraglayim. So he said, wash your feet. So Light's also worried. So how does he let them stay a couple of days? Avada, he had a cheshbon. They should look fresh. But he's not makbid of Avodah Zarah, al karchach. Saying ever wash your feet means you're worried about Avodah Zarah. So Light Klar was makbid on Avodah Zarah. He said stay here a couple of days. Says Rashi, clearly he's not makbid of a light shloi hikbid. He's not makbid of Avodah Zarah coming to his house. Eventually he wants them to wash because of course he's makbid. It's Avodah Zarah. I don't want, but he's not makbid. It's in my house a couple of days. Beseder. So al karchach Rashi can't say he said wash your feet later because he wanted not to be caught by the Arabs. So don't say wash your feet at all. Don't give them water, let them keep their feet dirty. He shouldn't say wash your feet. Saying wash your feet means that he was worried about Avodah Zarah. He said it second, he had a ganze cheshbon that keep your feet dirty for a while. But at some point, I care about Avodah Zarah, but I don't care if it comes in my house for a while. That's the pshat hava that emerges from these two Rashis. Is that light who cares about Avodah Zarah? It's not the pshat, he doesn't care, that's why he says wash your feet. He's just not makbid. Rashi, when he says Avram's makbid, he says hitbid shloi lahachnas Avodah Zarah lebeisai. I don't want it in my house. This is not coming to my house. Light also cares about Avodah Zarah. That's why he says wash your feet. He just doesn't have the akbada that it doesn't come into his house. It's in my house, beside there. Down the road, eventually you got to wash. Hamakbad on Avodah Zarah. That's why he says wash your feet, light. Both Avram and Lot command to wash their feet, shaloi k'derech eretz. Not like the normal derech eretz, a host should not tell a guest, wash. Let's wash. It's not appropriate. You tell people to wash, very inappropriate. Either wash your hands. What could you say, Shemi, when you want your guests? What are you supposed to do?
That's like a mitzvah. No? I mean, it's nothing to do with it.
But before the mitzvah is in one way or another, there's something biyadayim. Yeah, there's a way to do it. So maybe just wash. Maybe you could say netilas yadayim. You're saying a mitzvah. Noitel means to raise the hands. You don't say wash. It's not derech eretz to say to guests, come wash. Ever wash. Not derech eretz. Maybe you say the mitzvah netilas yadayim. You announce. Maybe.
Let's wash.
It's funny. What? We're gonna wash. You don't say the guy. It's funny. We say orchatz. Kadesh, orchatz. It's funny, but remember, orchatz is not ruchai, it's wash. Orchatz, washing. It could be you say washing. Like Reb Chaim says, he's probably right. You don't say wash your hands. We're washing. We'll wash. You're not saying go wash. There's a mitzvah, netilas yadayim, you can say, to tell somebody wash is inappropriate. And that's the kasha both on Avram and Lot, who say, rachzu ragleichem is madna, wash your feet. So it says Rashi that Lot and Avram both are addressing its Avodah Zarah. Avram says wash, and Avada, it's the normal thing, wash before. Don't tell anybody wash. He said wash because he's makbid not to have Avodah Zarah in his house. If you want to come in, you got to get rid of the Avodah Zarah. Lot is also makbid not to have Avodah Zarah, but he's not makbid that it shouldn't come into his house. He says eventually wash, and he has a gansa alila, a whole plan why he says don't wash right away. He's makel on Avodah Zarah in his house. Listen, okay, there'll be Avodah Zarah eventually. You'll wash. He doesn't want them to have Avodah Zarah permanently, and he has to tell them get rid of the Avodah Zarah. But lo hikbid, he's not makbid not to be nekanis into his house Avodah Zarah. So he says, wash later. That's his plan. Wash later. He has a cheshbon. You'll look like fresh from the trip. So wash. Avadi have to wash. Chevra. I don't want Avodah Zarah here, but I have a plan. He's not makbid that Avodah Zarah shouldn't enter his house. Shemi, is that how we could learn these two? I think it's like Kimin Chaimer. It answers the two Rashis beautifully. I think that's Pshat Tava. That's how I'm understanding the two Rashis. I had a few more kashas. I don't like piling on kashas. You could pile on more, and it makes you sound smarter. I don't really care for that right now. Just trust me, I have more kashas, so you'll believe me, I'm smarter. But what's better is the Pshat and the two Rashis. What's better is to learn the two Rashis and the Pshat Tava. Ravavi, you ask him to Pshat. I think it's Geshmak of Pshat Tava. It's so cool when you learn real Pshat, you find out a derech eretz. Rashi's not talking about the order. I think the Mefarshei Rashi, you say Rashi means the order. I don't understand what they mean. The Sifsei Chachamim brings a Pshat in Rashi that Avram Avinu, since he said it first, it can't be pshat. He asked Kayenzov like tzarachin, but it can't be because it's the norm to say it first. So what does it have to do with Avodah Zarah? It's normal. You don't say it to anybody at all.
They say maybe first because for Achnas Archim, if the guests they're so tired, let them go to sleep with their feet dirty. I mean, why are you mentioning?
I would hear that cheshbon Iran. I would hear, except Rashi later says lahedya that the normal thing is the first wash. He says that lahedya. So I could have thought like you, that the normal thing is first go to sleep. Like one can clear. I know people who just go to sleep and they take the morning shower. So I know people like that. Just go to sleep, you'll take the morning shower. Rashi later says that the derech is to wash first. before you sleep. He says that. So then what's the kasha here? Wash your feet and go to sleep is the norm. The teretz is the kasha. That's not normal to say wash your feet. It's nothing to do with the order. And that was a hakpada not to have avodah zarah in the house.
Is the dirt over here the one that you're not allowed to bring avodah zarah into your house, like that's in the tabi teva? What was like what's his calculation based on, like not bringing it in? Let's it come in, but like.
So Shimi asks about kasha that what's light's cheshbon? Light's makbid not to have avodah zarah. But so the answer I would say, and remember, this even hit me, that Rashi says Avram's makbid not to be machlis avodah zarah l'beisai. Rashi, of course, everybody's makbid. Avram, somebody says, are you chol Yisrael or not? Are you like anti-avodah zarah or not? Everybody's against avodah zarah. Light was also against avodah zarah. Light held, I'm going to tell them, we'll get rid of that avodah zarah. Come to my house, we'll work together in a couple of days, get rid of. Nobody holds of avodah zarah. Light was also makbid not to have avodah zarah. He just wasn't makbid shloi l'chanis l'toich beisa. It's in my house, beseder, a couple of days. Nobody was pro avodah zarah. They're all against avodah zarah. Light's cheshbon was that we'll get rid of it in a couple of days. We could wait. They're doing avodah zarah now also. It's in my house, beseder. I have a cheshbon, and I'll get rid of it in 2 days, 2 or 3 days, he said. But of course, Light was makbid to get rid of avodah zarah. Avram Avinu Zevi said it shouldn't be enter into his house. I think was saying, to me, the Rashi's work perfect. I can answer a few other things. What this, you could look at the Sifsei Chacham's, other things are answered. I think it's like, I think there's an emes. If somebody has a cash, I think, that's how I understood these two Rashi.
What would happen after a few days?
Who?
Because if he wasn't marketed for it to be in his house, then why a few days later was it?
That's what Shimi's saying. It's avodah zarah. You got to get rid of it. Wash your feet, Chevra. Just wait till he doesn't care, comes into his house. He's not going to be besed. You'll get to it. I'm not going to be makbid right away. If it speaks about chametz on Pesach. There's many Rishonim hold that if you're oimei to be mevar, you're not over having chametz in the house. Lai was saying, I know it's avodah zarah. We're going to destroy this. Just wait a little bit to save our lives. We're destroying avodah zarah, and of course everybody agrees. You got to tell them to get rid of it. Lai said, okay, well come to my house. The avodah zarah is here. Say, let's destroy it. You're waiting a little bit with the cheshbon to wait, and we're getting it's oimed levar. You're going to wash it. You're going to get rid of it. That was Light's cheshbon. Avram Avinu said it's not coming into my house. There's no avodah zarah in my house. Avram was makbid shlo l'kanis l'sarbeis. Avodah zarah is not coming into my house. I get chizuk when you learn pshat klur. So many things come out. I like saying over Avram Avinu's gewaldige chesed. I'm not like learning. I'm learning that even mitay chesed that there's gvulim to chesed. And I like studying it and learning it well. Light has a cheshbon. Light says, okay, you'll get rid of that avodah zarah. Avram's mak, but it's not coming to my house. The Allah chesed, but it's not coming to my house. Avodah zarah is not entering here. And Avram Avinu says, wash your feet. He says wash because it's not coming to us. It's not even derech eretz to say wash normal, except you're not having this in my house. And Light, who understands also and says wash, but he lets avodah zarah come to his house and he has a cheshbon. A matter of fact, you see he's not makbid. If he was makbid, then the cheshbon would have no shaykhs. It's nice you have a cheshbon. The cheshbon only is shaykh, that he doesn't care. Avodah zarah enters my house. No, I don't know if there's an isser. He didn't do avodah zarah. He's not agreeing. He has no akbad. It enters his house. Avram and Lai don't do avodah zarah. Avram has akbad. Avodah zarah is not coming into my house. Light's akbad is let's get rid of it. But okay, it entered. I have a cheshbon to wait. But he's not makbid. Avodah zarah enters his house. That's Light. That's Avram Avinu. Beautiful pshat tova. I think beautiful pshat tova in the two Rashis. It answers what Rashi's bothered by. Gishmak.
But avodah zarah is like a special pasuk, like tavi to
El Beisecha. Yeah, there is a pasuk. Shemi's pointing out that there's an Indian like Sabi Tev El Beisecha that avodah zarah. That's the hakpad of Avram Avinu that avodah zarah should enter the house. Really, Shemi's asking. So, what's the gather of Light? So, Stam. What's the gather of Light? It's avodah zarah. I guess by Light he doesn't want it blibing. He doesn't want it remaining in his house. It comes in. He's not asking. He doesn't want it to remain in his house, but he allows it to enter in his house. He doesn't want it to remain in his house. That would what would come out from this sugya.
Okay, now they're saying that washing means that now you're not asking to take a shower, you're asking him to take avodah zarah. Is it right for Avram Avinu just because he thought they were Arabs to suspect them? Because now they know that's why he's telling him this.
He's mitzvah. He thought he held they were Arabs, and he's mitzvah to say that they're Arabs. They bow to Avakshval Reglaim. He has akbad, but the Zara shouldn't come in. That's his chiyuv.
Was it like a suffix, or he knew they were?
It says kisper. It doesn't say a suffix. Avram held kisper means this is what he held. This is what he thought. This is what he held, and this is what he's mechuyev. Kisper means he held. Kisper Shem Arvim. He held their Arabs who are mishtachim lavak shebragleim, and he has akbada. But the Zara shouldn't enter his house. That is the sugya. I wanted to share something that's important to me that I think we could see a lot in these psukim. By Avram Avinu, 5 times it uses a lashon of zrizus by Avram Avinu. Right away when he sees them, Vayar Vayoretz the cross, Avram is running. He then says, a few psukim later, he says Vayimar Avram twice. Avram rushed. Mari says to Sarimenu, like a zrizus, let's go, rush. Then 3rd time, 4th time, Elabakar Ratz Avram, he runs to the cattle, 4. 5 time, Vayimar Lasei, so he eat in al nar and they rush to do it. 5 times it speaks about his zrizus. So there's a picture we're picturing here. We're picturing an old man who's running, who's flying. And the Torah wants that picture, that seer for us all. An old man running right after Milas B'nai, right after a surgery. And Avram Avinu and the Torah, 5 words in the Torah being madgish that things here are on fire. The picture is that anybody who was there would see the pasuk in Koheles, Ish kiyitin kol haim beisai ba'ava. If a person's giving so much money out of love, other people are saying, like, whoa, this is weird. Somebody like so passionate and you don't share the passion, like what's the deal with this guy? If you ever see people dancing and you don't hear the music, people dancing, you don't hear the music, if you ever watch like dancing without music, they look whacked. Just jumping around. Okay, they hear music, their body's moving, so you don't see it. If you ever see somebody running and flying around and you don't see why they're running, it's like, looks weird. People around say, Avram Avinu, the Torah wants a picture of a man is on fire. And I want to say like this, that the picture of chesed that the Torah wants for us is a tremendous passion. Now, I want to express that a superficial view is do the chesed with a lot of energy. And it's a different, I believe there's a different pshat. All of us have a neshama. We have a piece of Hashem. Hashem is a native. When a person's doing what they're born to do, they're on fire. When a person finds mission and is plugged in, I was meant for this, they're on fire. Born for this. There's a certain sense of duty. Right now, we have people close to us that are sitting in Gaza fighting, afraid for their lives, and they're fighting for Am Yisrael. So Rai Fisher asked one of our friends, he asked him in front of the whole yeshiva, you were sitting in America, he did not have to enlist. And he went back. He said, why'd you go back? And he spoke in an honest way, and he described, he said, I trained for this. He said, one of my friends was Nifter. He also described, the Rav told him a story of a girl, Na'ar, who's captured right now, and he said, I'm going to free Na'ar, I'm going to get her out, I need to get Na'ar out. And he's on fire with a sense of purpose and mission. I trained for this, I worked for this, I feel a sense of purpose. One of my brothers gave up his life doing this, and I feel there's a task that I want to do protecting my brothers. There's a girl who's captured, and I want to go free her. He all gave this sense of mission, of purpose. If I was born for something, and people, when they're born for something, are flown. They're on fire. I was born for something. I was made. Lakach natzarta. And the picture of an Avram Avinu on fire, and the Torah gives us details, unusual details, of a person, not just the chesed they were doing, the way they were doing it. I was born for this. The Chavetz Chaim has essays, and named his sefer Avas Chesed. And he writes essays. The Torah describes the Navi Micha says the world was created for 3 purposes. Hashem wants asais mishpat, avas chesed. Say ava, loving kindness. Kindness. avas chesed. And the Chavetz Chaim has essays on that it's not enough to do chesed, it's avas chesed. And I suspect that part of that word, love of kindness, what do you mean love of kindness? Do it. Part of love of kindness is a passion. I was born for this. I was born. We were all designed, a piece of Hashem, cheluk elokam mimal mamish, and we're born to do kindness to another. And the picture of the Zrizas of Avram is he's flowing, he's on fire. It's a picture of somebody on fire. I was born for this. I was made for this. I have a friend who's known, amongst our Chaver, we have a friend who's known, Yadua, for a Baal Chesed extraordinaire, wild Baal Chesed. And I've heard him express it to close friends on a number of occasions, the sense that I was born for this. I was born. And he feels alive, and he feels like he's been doing Chesed for years in extreme ways. And I've heard him express to his friends that I feel I was born for this. I just was born for this. And the picture of Avram Avinu flowing and speed shows, the Mesilas Yesharim writes about Zrizus, it shows a tremendous tshukas haneshama. Now we're used to chitzonis reres hapnimius. The Torah is speaking about the pnimius. Avram Avinu was on fire because he was born, because he was tapping into a place of himself. And I think one of the great ways all of us can do kindness is, and of course there's elements we push, there's also elements tap in. Tap into yourself, unleash something. There's a tremendous ratzain for atava in us that exists in us. There's a very powerful way of doing kindness. There are times in our life we're like forcing it. And maybe, yes, we have to, for different reasons, we blocked up our souls. So we're forcing chitzonis reres hapnimius. But we can get to a place that our chesed is on fire. I was born for this. And we unleash a certain koyach mibifnim that I was meant for this. I was born for this, and I'm like flowing. This is right, this is true. The picture of Avram Avinu's kindness, somebody running, flying around, the Torah is describing, is somebody who has tapped into something deep, and it's just like fines, they're flowing. There's a line of Rashi, that Rashi says that by Yaakov Avinu, it says, Nasa kal aleches, it was easy for him to travel. Vayisa Yaakov es raglov, became like easy. When we're tapped into something, I was born for it, you'll find yourself flowing. I thought years ago about sports, I was thinking a lot about it, that no good player, the ball comes and you dive for an outfield play, I don't find you tell your body to do it. If you're competitive and you want to win and you get the score, you find yourself diving. Kemat. You're not very interesting. You're not pushing your body, I want to win. I care about winning. I'm in tune to the moment, and you find your body. The guy hustles to first base. You're not even telling yourself. There's something you know. There's something you hold. There's something you feel, and you find your body flowing. The conversation's much more before what you held, what you know. I have observed people who don't dive, they're protecting themselves, because when you dive and you run after it, you might drop it and miss it. And they decide before, they tell themselves not to hustle, play it safe. If I run in, you can embarrass yourself. When you run in, so they have to put the blockage, winning's not so important, and they're allowed to not want to win. But they have some algorithm they put in that stops their body from diving. So they pre-program. It always bothers me. If the ball goes up, the guy can make the catch. He doesn't. He's pre-programmed himself, just stay safe. So winning's not the ikr, don't look bad. So he loses, he don't look bad. If you don't run hard, if you don't dive, you end up not looking so bad. If it comes near you, you catch it. If it goes far in, I didn't make a big effort. People don't know. Could he have caught it? Could he not? We'll never know. He played it safe. Okay, that's his algorithm, and his body responds to the way he programmed it.
What's the worst?
I'm sorry?
What's the worst?
To me and you. To a lot of people, it feels safe. So they lose the game, but they don't make so many errors. The guy who runs after it, so it can look bad. You drop it, it falls out of the glove, you dive and miss. A lot of funny stuff happens. But my point is that the algorithm before causes the sense of purpose, causes the body to move. The decision before, if I want to win, the decision before that that's my main matara, he doesn't have to during the, you almost don't tell your body, go and dive. You've programmed something that makes it dive. And the body follows suit. When we're plugged into a deep place of giving, what comes out is his rizus. The body flies. The body runs. Avram Avinu has plugged in. I was born for this. Avas Chesed. He's plugged in. I was meant for this. I have a piece of Hashem which is meant to share, to give, to supply. He finds himself on fire. I have found with parents that if a guy plugs in, I have watched fathers on fire, he's decided he's a tata. It almost goes from there. A guy decides I'm a husband. It almost goes from there. He's on fire. I was born for this. It's identity. At the point he assumes identity as plugged in, this is a mitzius. I was born for this. I got it. I want it. This is what I want to be. He almost finds his body. He's moving. He's flowing. He's running. He's hustling. I want this. This is what I'm into. And he finds himself hustling. So I want to describe the picture that the Torah is saying for us. When Avram Avinu flying around for Chesed is the picture of somebody who's plugged in and found, I was born for this. I was created for this. And then there's a Chesed that's on fire. I think that's the visual of Chesed. That's the visual of Chesed. I saw Mefarsh from the Medrash Shmuel asked that it says the world stands on three things. Torah, Vayeira, it should say Chesed. Goimel Chesed, it says Chasadim, Gemilus Chasadim, plural. And I saw that he says Chesed al Gabi Chesed. Chesed by its nature is on fire. It's not Chesed, it's Chasadim. It's just all the way the guy is flowing. There's no, I laugh, someone said, like a Yekish Chesed. There's no such thing as dropping the guy off by the corner. There's no such thing. You're not flowing, you don't get it. I'll drop you by the corner. It's not what it is. It's not what Chesed is. You're not flowing. Then you're like forcing something. When you're flowing, you drive him right into his bedroom. You drive him home and you carry him into his house. Chasadim, Chesed, Avram is running and flowing. He was born for this. It's not like in the way he like forces his body. That's like dropping a guy at the corner. Okay, I'll bring you here. You'll hitch the rest. It's not what Chesed. I was born for this. This is not like my Zayda. I remember my Zayda. Whenever he used to drive people crazy. He always would say, "That's where I'm going." He wasn't a lying person. He meant I was born for Chesed. Whenever he gave people rides, he went ride to Brooklyn, that's where I'm going. He's a shakran. He wasn't a shakran. I mean, that's where you're going. You weren't planning on to Brooklyn. He means I was born for Chesed. He felt that way. That's where I'm going. That's not in the Chesed's not in the way. Okay, derech agav. I'm doing this. I was born for kindness. I'm alive. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. That's where I meant. I was born to go there. He meant very seriously. That's what he meant. Kipshutai mamish, not a drash, not saying Torah is a pasha to yid. That's what he was saying. Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm going there. I'm going there. I was born for this. We're watching our nation come alive, do for each other. It feels so right. People are cooking and baking. Their videos like almost mocking it. The kindness that we're doing one for another. People can't do enough. It just feels right. We were meant for this. We were meant. It's like natural. We're baking for each other and giving to each other, and everybody's raising, getting, creating. We were meant. We were created for this. The picture of Avram Avinu is Rizus. And this is what Zrizus says. It comes from a deep recognition, a deep place inside of me that wants this, that was created for this. And then what the external world shows is a person running and coming. Of course, we're aware that if we don't feel something, we can run, and that will be Ma'ira, the Pnimius. But when you have the Pnimius, that's what comes out the running. And Avram Avinu's running is teaching us about a Pnimius that was meant for this, that wants this, that is interested in this. I think if we could tap in our own places, our own ways of giving and roles of giving, and tap in and like see if it evokes inside of us. It's right. It's right. This friend of ours, a big giver, speaks about like feeling it, that he's touched inside of him a certain simcha. He said, don't you feel like alive when you're giving? He's touched something and felt something and experienced that helps, it invokes a tremendous passion for giving. So my bracha to all of us. My bracha. We have found amidst the matzav a sense of care for one another. It's brought out something that's been in us. It's there. It's been there the whole time. Something happened and aroused it in us. We have been aroused the sense of care for each other. We have woken up. The amount of people that have grilled for the soldiers, I think it might be dangerous. I don't want them to become fat. Say a prayer, the soldiers should have good speed, they should all be safe. Everybody's coming to grill for the soldiers. I spoke to some people in Eretz Yisrael, one way or another. I hope they grilled for different soldiers, and I hope they used some dietetic lettuce or something, or bread. But the soldiers should have the koyach and the speed and all the siyat d'shmaya to be safe. But what's been evoked in our people is a tremendous want to give and care for each other. I say that let's find it feels right. People are seeing videos. It's the best videos to watch. Is Yidden just helping Yidden, hugging Yidden, dancing together. It feels right. We found something. We found something that's true. People have asked, how can we capture this for even Be'ez Hashem, good times roll, that will stay united? We can capture if we recognize, it feels right. I was born for this. This is not something weird. It's like right. One of the Rabbanim in Eretz Yisrael was talking about people of tapping into the times. He said this Rav got up and he said to people, knock on strangers' doors in Eretz Yisrael and go in and like drink a cider together, just fabrang with some neighbor. He said now at this time it's normal. He said normally you knock on a stranger's door, come, I want to fabrang, they'll think you're a mud and a guy. He said now it's normal. The word is we're tapping in that we're brothers. We're tapping in, we've recognized something. If it's just in the time of an emergency we're doing something, it won't last. If somebody's being a hero and doing chesed, if a person has akara, it's just right, it makes sense. It makes sense to knock on a yid's door. He's a yid, I'm a yid. It makes sense. Things started to make sense to us. They feel right. If we sense that this is right, we were born for this. This is the way it belongs to be. It's supposed to be. I think there's big hope that at all times we'll hold on to. We found ourselves. Why would we ever let go of ourselves? That two people steig. Some guy steigs, but he's fighting himself. So okay, so how long could he hold out? There's another person who steigs, who's found himself. He's not fighting himself, he found himself, he's flowing. Now of course there's effort and diligence, but he's found himself. It fits him, I was born for this, he's found something. That person, it doesn't stop, I found something, I'm flowing. So I say to us, with the bracha, tefillah, that the closeness we have found to each other, the kindness that we're like unleashing chesed to each other, that we should all find the place that this feels right, it looks right. Anybody seen the videos of Yidden cooking for each other? Just looks right, looks cool. A people, a nation has found each other. We've found our long lost brothers, we forgot, but it feels, the pictures, focus on these pictures, it just feels right. Of course, a Chassidish guy should be dancing together with a different guy who doesn't. Of course, they're brothers. One's like this, like that. Brothers are brothers are brothers. It looks right, it feels right. Yehi ratzon. That all of our nation, the kindness that we've unleashed, we have found that godliness inside of us, the godliness that Avraham Avinu tapped in. We have found it. We should be zeichet to continue with great zrizis, with great alacrity, with great energy to be there for each other. Yashar Koach.